I always forget to set up a camera whenever, honestly, whenever I smoke. Whenever I'm smoking, listening to music, just kind of like transitioning. Transitioning is when I need to just kind of like set up a camera. But damn, this phone be running out of room. So maybe I gotta just be intentional about every day just uploading it. That just means I gotta spend less time on social media. But anyway, I set this up because I'm always moving and shaking. You feel me? I'm always on the go, going somewhere, doing something, I'm here, I'm there. I remember being the girl that would just go to one party. And we just in one party. That's the whole night. You get boring. It gets boring. Like going to the same spot all the time. Like I'm not a repetitive person. I'm not a obsessive person, and I had somebody in my life that was just an obsessive person for years. They were obsessive compulsive, and that shit brings so much stagnation into your life. You really have to be mindful about who you keep in your circle. I've been so free ever since I started hanging around with more Geminis. They really understand me, and I love them for that. And I just enjoy being free. I love being around Capricorns. They remind me to plan, to execute, they motivate me. I love fucking Capricorn energy. Y'all are some motivational motherfuckers. You sons of bitches. Y'all got shit figured out. I want to crawl up into y'all minds and sift through it. The same way y'all want to crawl up into my minds. People love to get lost up in a Scorpio. Scorpio men have given Scorpio women bad names, but honestly, Scorpio women give themselves bad names sometimes. Sometimes we do the most. Sometimes we obsess. But I can't even say I'm obsessed with myself. I'm obsessed with joy and happiness for myself and for others. But starting with me, because if I obsess over joy and happiness for others, then I turn into a people pleaser, then I'm just like pleasing people all the time, and that shit is, I don't want to ever be a people pleaser again. The only person I ever want to please is me, and not at the expense of others, but in service to others. I must please me, because if I'm not happy, nobody's happy. I will turn into a fucking hurricane if I'm not happy. I'll just destroy shit. But when I'm happy, I'm cool as a breeze. Any rain you experience is just a passing shower. The sun shines, the earth grows, and that's me. I really just try and be in alignment. Beyonce, you're so loud. Jeez. Anyway, my hair looking crazy because I had to survive a supermarket. Good God. I'm going to another one. Thank God my immune system is strong. I pray my immune system is strong, but I know that it is, because traveling and being inside of that supermarket with all the motherfuckers, I'm going home and doing like 15 shots of my tinctures, the fighter one and everything, because I know I got somebody's fucking sneeze up my nose. Because that's just how the fucking world works, especially going to those supermarkets, because they're always so crowded. That is why I fucking like, that is why I fucking I order my groceries delivered, because I don't fucking want to deal with this shit running back and forth and stuff. But you can't get no fucking turkey off of Instacart. That's something like, I need to go there, I need to see it, because I don't cook turkeys all the time. I know how to cook a turkey, but it's not something I'm buying all the time. So I'm like, all right, I'm going there and get a 20-pound turkey, 150-pound turkey. They're like, you only need 1 pound per person. Well, shit, how many people are going? Thankfully, the host actually like responded in time. I was able to get everything I needed, and he stayed responsive because he knew I was in the supermarket. So I had his attention and he had mine. And I appreciated that. I always love that. Always love that. When the spirit moves you, if I text you back, you better text me back right away because you got me. Don't pause. Don't play coy and say, oh, well, you text me, I don't text back right away because you got me. If you text back, I got you. And if you got to make moves, then you got to make moves. That's cool. But just know, by the time you come back, I might be making moves. I'm in these streets, nigga, make your move, make your fucking move. That's like a play on a Jay-Z lyric. Was the streets is watching? It might have been Streets was watching, but I know that he looped it on it was a song on Rock La Familia. Streets is watching, niggas is talking about me. I remember Beanie's verse started off, the streets is not only watching, but they talking now. They got me circling the block before I park it now. Don't get it twisted. I'm not scared. I'm just cautious now. Yeah. Them Rockefeller niggas, they had a hold. They had a grip on a bitch. Yeah, Jay-Z was working some sort of magic. I don't know what spell he was using, what his prayer was, what witch got a hold of him, or what witchcraft he doing. But yeah, I pray to the I can't say I pray because I don't pray to false idols. But when he kept telling like his name was Jehovah, he knew that he was a god. He knew that God was in him. He understood that, and he truly believed in that. And that is truly how I feel about myself. That's how I view myself. They're like, yeah, God is in me. God is in all of us, though. God is real in all of us. And it's a matter of, if you see that and you believe that, then life is easier for you because you have found the golden path. You have found divinity in life. You have found spirituality. You have found God. And you're not pretending to have found God. God is actually real in your life. Like, God could walk up to you and say, what's up? And you wouldn't even be surprised. You'd be like, what's poppin', nigga? Pass the blunt. Because you know God got some mystic weed. And if you pass God your blunt, that's a blessing forever. Whatever, I'm waxing poetic. I'm saying shit that probably don't even make any sense. It makes a ton of sense. Who am I kidding? This is a divine download from the universe. Yeah. I think that's the end. I think after this, I might want to stay. Whatever. I'll edit it out if it's not important. The problem is that I tend to record these things and then never post them and forget about them. I have so many videos like this where I'm just talking and I'm just getting all of these thoughts out, and then I don't do nothing with them. I don't know. Maybe I should throw the shits up on YouTube or something. But then I get caught up on like editing and what do I sound like, and is this all right, and is this all right, and stuff like that. And, I don't worry about that whenever it's somebody in the car with me chilling. I'm just being myself. So I don't know why I get so hung up whenever it's a camera in front of me. Whatever I know somebody is watching. It's hot as shit in here. God damn. Whew. Burning my fucking ears. This supermarket is still 20 minutes away. Sometimes I get too obsessed with perfection. But then I remind myself that I am the perfect vision of myself. Every morning I wake up no matter how I look, no matter how ashy I may look, no matter how crazy I might look. I left half my toiletries at home. I was in LA, in Cali just for a week. Half my fucking toiletries at home, and I still just... You son of a bitch. Why would you wait until a light change? You already sitting there to change your freaking... Put your damn turning signal on. Your drivers suck. Damn it. They're so selfish. It's crazy that I learned how to drive here and I'm not a selfish driver. I just know how to be very observant and avoid things and try to minimize the damage I do to my car. And it never fails. It never fails that the biggest damage on my car comes from me. Never fails. And it's usually because I'm distracted and it's too much going on and I can't focus, and it's like, boom, and fucked up my car. Like, damn it. And other people have done damage to it too. It's usually people do damage and then skedaddle. That's New York City. People fucking skedaddle on you. They shake the spizzad. Let's get out of here, yo. After Labor Day parade, I came outside and I'm walking down the street, and somebody had totaled a car and ditched it. Took the tags, took the registration, took everything off the car that they crashed. And like, they crashed and totaled 2 cars on the sidewalk, pushed them up on the side, like knocked tires. That shit must be said boom when it happened. I must have been dead asleep, because I'm usually up in the middle of the night. I heard when the scaffolding collapsed. That one woke me up though. But I'm a light sleeper. I'm a light sleeper. I hear everything in my sleep. That's why sleeping with the TV on, I'll pick up all sorts of little subliminal little things, and don't realize how much King of the Hill has started influencing my way of speaking and stuff, until it's like, oh shit, that's because I've been sleeping with King of the Hill on every night for weeks. And you know what? That just unlocked the idea for me. I've been having a hard time dreaming. Like, the dreams happen, but I don't really remember them. So I think I need to take a page out of Jess's book and do some just some kind of like meditative kind of things in my sleep, some little manifestation things. I gotta ask for her recommendation. Somebody make sure I remember that, because I'm fired up about that. Maybe I'll probably remember it before I go to sleep. I know I really like when I listen to my chakra alignment playlist. Oh, I can probably just listen to a chakra alignment playlist, or whatever chakra I'm trying to activate more. I need more motivation and stick-wittedness. I think that would be you till we hit the heavens. Spread like they used to, but I wanna fly with you until we hit the heavens. You motherfuckers. Till we hit the heavens. What y'all doing? Oh yeah, I was always trying to turn. Oh my god, the traffic up here is such ass. It's ass. It's really, really ass. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, this is my favorite SZA song, and it came on while I was getting my tattoo. And I guess, yeah, this is a time. How much time? I got 13 minutes. That's enough time. Hopefully I don't run out of camera space. Inshallah. So there was I was walking down the street one day, and there was this little boy walking down the street. He's like in between some, like behind a parked car in a driveway, but he's about to step out into the street, and it's this little boy. He's like 2 years old, and he's just the most adorable, cutest little fucking thing. He's got like this adorable curly little blonde hair. It's kind of like flowy, and he's bright blue eyes, and his little yarmulke, you know, their yarmulkes be so cute. They be sliding, they be walking down the street. Sometimes they fall off, and I never touch them because I know that, or at least I've heard or read that I'm, as a woman in general, not even whether I'm Gentile nor Jew, just as a woman in general, I'm not supposed to touch men. And I respect that, and respect their preference and their religion. You know, that's, you just respect people. It's not they think we're dirty. No, they don't touch their own fucking women unless that's their wife. That's it. And so this time I touched that child. You get your little, let me get to the rest of the story. So I see this child, and you know, all of this to say, like, the yarmulkes will fall down, and I'm like, hey, your yarmulke's on the street, it fell, and they'll run back and grab it or whatever. But whatever, the kid's in the street, and I'm like, hey, and a black man across the street is in a SUV, and he skirches to a shop like, hey, that child is in the street. And I'm like, I know, I'm trying to get him out, but I don't want to scare him, because the little boy is looking a little scared, because I'm walking my dog. My dog is pulling, trying to get away, and I'm like frustrated with the dog, like, come here, dog, you stupid fucking idiot, I'm trying to save the damn child. And the dog's also a Chihuahua, and kids are generally conditioned to be afraid of dogs. And also, this dog doesn't, a lot of Jewish people don't really have pets like that. Some of them do, but most of them don't. At least from what I've seen in my neighborhood, my just observations. And so they, also fine fare, so. But look what the kid did. So I did it. Anyway, oh shit, I got so damn distracted. All right, so I got the dog, you know, I'm trying to get the little boy to come over. Also, I'm a woman who really does not look like him. Now, Jewish kids are generally used to black people. Like, they don't really fear us because we live in the same neighborhoods together. They run down the street, they get on the elevator with us by themselves, they say hi, they speak to you in the hallway, they ask about your hair, they ask to pet your dog, they don't ask to pet your hair. They don't ask no stupid shit about you. They don't really care. They're not curious about us because they see us all the time. That is one thing that I have enjoyed about the Jewish children. Don't like stare at you like you're an oddity, because they see you from the day that they're born. Like, literally, my neighbors down the hall, you know, she had her baby, and she told me, she's like, you know, I have the baby. I was like, oh, let me look upon the babe. Let me look. And she was adorable. Another girl, because I wanted to see what she had. She had 5 daughters already, or 4 daughters already. So I was hoping that she got a boy so that she could stop. Because usually at that point they'll stop once they get a boy, but sometimes they won't. They actually will just continue until their bodies can't. Yeah. Until their bodies say no more children, they will continue. And they're exhausted, but they're very supported by their communities. Very, very supported by their communities. Anyway. So I get the little boy out the street, and I'm very, you know, gentle, you know, trying not to scare him. And I get him out the street, and he's like, he, you know, comes gently over to me, and gingerly or whatever. And once I get a hold of his hand, I snatch his little ass out the street. Get your little ass out the street, Lou. What the fuck is you doing in the fucking, where the fuck are your parents? So I'm like, and I'm not saying this is my internal voice, right? Because I would never cuss at a child like that. It ain't my child. Why would I put that on them? You don't know them words. But I go, and I'm calling up and down the street. Excuse me, is this anyone's child? Whose child is this? Hello. I need an adult. I need an adultier adult than me to figure out this situation. You know, you always look for the elders in your community. It's always jarring when I'm the elder in the room. I'm like, fuck, I gotta be the adult. Okay. I handle it more like a house mother, you know, than an elder, you know. But ends up getting these two old Jewish women come out their building, right? And they're, you know, old grandmothers, you know, the grandmothers live with their families and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, what's going on? It's like this child was just in the street, you know. And she's like, whose child was this? She's like, oh, and they're calling up and down the block, and they're, you know, trying to take the child from me. And I'm gingerly taking it back, because I'm just like, if this isn't your child, I can't give this child to you. It's not even like a pride thing where I'm just like, I want to be the one to say, I found your pick-me. No. It's more so like, and pick-me is not a derogatory term. That's literally what Caribbean people call their children. Like, I was raised by a half Black American, half like Caribbean mother. Pick-me was a word that we use because it literally means pick-me. Like, so I understand the frustration with the colored versus black thing going on right now, and why I have chosen to sit this conversation out. I'm opting out. Don't want to be bothered, because I call children pick-me, and I don't mean pick-a-ninny like racist people mean. No, we called it pick-a-ninny before. We call them pick-me before they were ever called pick-a-ninnies. You pick your baby up. It's a pick-a-ninny. So anyway, I'm less concerned about like the pride and the honor of finding a child, and it's more so I'm a former educator, and so I have to ensure the safety of this child. I have to make sure that whoever I'm giving this child to, it feels right to me, because if something happens and it's on record that I handed this child off to a serial killer, I'm now in trouble for handing this child off to a serial killer. And granted, like, oh no, the child is now dead, but also cover your ass, right? So I end up, that's my favorite, you know, song. Anyway, so I keep control of the child. I'm holding on to his hand and stuff like that. And I notice up the block, I see an open door for a house. And I go up to it and I yell inside, excuse me, is this your child? And he's like, father just kind of strolls out. He's like, oh yeah, thanks. And I'm flabbergasted. I would have been on my knees hugging that child, my precious gift from God. Thank God you're okay, right? Now, my first thought is, you son of a bitch, you just have no respect for me, right? That was the reactionary part. Then the second reactionary part was, oh, well, y'all got so many fucking kids that you don't even care if you lose one. Both of those were wrong, right? So I'm glad I did not go with my reaction. I took many months. This happened over the summer, and I didn't make sense of it until recently. Jewish people have complete belief in God and God's promise that they are the chosen people and that they will forever be protected, and that as long as they follow God's rules and teachings, they are covered and protected, and that no bad will ever fall of them. And if bad falls on them, it's because they did something wrong, right? It is terrible. Like, you become a social pariah if God punishes you with some type of major loss or something, or some type of huge public embarrassment. But that man had complete faith that his child would be okay. Even though his child walked out the door, he didn't even notice it. He knew he would be back one day. It's all in their holy book. Children venture out, they go and talk to burning bushes, and then they come back home with a story to tell. They're God's chosen people, right? That is what they choose to believe in their religion. We all have our different beliefs, but they believe it so wholly and fully And if you look at the data, I deep dive into random things. So I wanted to know where were all the sex offenders in my neighborhood? Where did they live? I like to know those things, right? What's my risk of getting kidnapped, snatched up? Because it happens too often in New York City. Bitches is getting raped all the time, right? And so there is one Jewish sex offender. They do not offend their own. They do not harm their own. They don't harm black women because they don't touch us, because they're not allowed to touch women like that. They are not allowed to be rapers. So the one sex offender, he's in the neighborhood and he probably lives in a basement closet somewhere, and no one really gives a shit about him because of that sin that he did. And someone's taking pity on him because he apologized to somebody, and someone, felt obligated, whether he's family or something. And so he has a roof over his head. But he doesn't really have community because he did harm to the community. The Jewish people don't believe in doing harm to those in their community. And so this little boy was safe because of his father's complete trust and faith in both God and the safety of his community, even with black people in it. Black people know not to harm no Jewish kids. If you sneeze wrong at a Jewish kid, you gonna be in fucking prison. And that is true of not just black people, anybody. They have gotten that privilege thanks to white privilege, and thanks to that added layer of protection, because there is a lot of anti-Semitism in the world, and it's never warranted. Full stop. Anti-Zionism, sure. Anti-killing people for land and resources, sure. Anti that, but never anti-Semitism. Jewish people are some of the kindest people I've ever met. White supremacy is the evilest thing on earth. And in order to assimilate into life, not just in America, but especially in New York City, you have to buy into white supremacy. That's simply the way the system works here. Housing, food, employment, relations with the NYPD. You don't see any other race but black people getting beat up and shot and shit. You may see other people, especially during protests and shit, but if you look at the comparison, New York City isn't segregated, but we are the most dominated. That's why we grow up so hard. That's why we're so aggressive and nervous. It's because they control us so hard that we end up angry and cranky and repressed and scared and frustrated and all sorts of, God damn it, did I miss my turn? Anyway, I digress. So this little Jewish boy, hand him back to his father or whatever, and I walk away, and the women are like, you saved a Jewish child's life. God will bless you forever. And so I'm good with God. As long as Jewish God has blessed me, I'm straight in life. And all I had to do was be me. I ain't have to do nothing. I ain't have to join no religion or nothing like that and convert. I got it from some Jewish witches. I'm a witch. I recognize another witch. And if they weren't witches, they were grandmothers. You know how powerful a grandmother's prayers are? So yeah. I got Jewish God's blessings. I got God's blessings, I should just say. Yeah, that was an awesome thing. And so with everything going on in Israel and Palestine right now, it's been weighing on me. And I didn't realize that consuming so much of what's happening is causing the obsession of anger and hurt. And so it has made me angry. And I keep saying I do not want to be anti-Semitic. I do not want to be, I don't want to be racist. I don't want to be hateful. Hate is not allowed to reside in my heart at all. Full stop. Hate's not, no matter what you like, unless you directly do some sort of terrible intentional harm to me. But that's not true of all Jewish people, right? And I can't assume that just because I see a Jewish person that they are supporting the actions of the Israeli government. And I prayed before I went out to LA. I prayed, I was like, I need to see my building rabbi. I haven't seen him, and I need to bring this problem to him, because he'll always help me work things out with the Jewish people in the community. He always helps me to understand. And I haven't seen him since before this conflict started. But when I got out to, that's a wild song I have playing in the background of this conversation. I had this thing where I was supposed to get this tattoo, and last time I was in LA, I was in Long Beach, and I fell in love with it. And that was when I decided I was moving to LA. That was back in 2016. I was still a flight attendant, and I wanted to get some palm trees. I wanted a little palm tree on my wrist. And I stopped myself because I was like, I can't get this here until I get my Brooklyn tattoo. And so the next tattoo I got, like, I had to get some cover-ups, all of this other stuff like that. A bunch of other tattoos got in the way. But the next time I had a spontaneous tattoo moment, I got my Brooklyn tattoo in Atlanta. It didn't matter where I got it. I just had to get Brooklyn tattooed on me. And then I said, in order to get the palm tree, I had to get Brooklyn on me first. And so there was this push. I'm like, I have to get my tattoo while I'm out there, to the point where I didn't even write it on my to-do list, because I just knew I would find a tattoo place. It's nothing to hop into a tattoo place. It don't matter who do it. What matters is whether it's important to me and whether I'm getting what I want. I'm learning to speak more and saying more of what I want. So I don't get no more ugly tattoos, because I go in there and I say what I want, and I let the artist do their thing. And then I look at it. Is that what I want? Can you change this? Whatever. Because I'm paying you to put something on my body forever. I don't have to settle on that. My first several tattoos were all settling tattoos. Just like, okay, right? Because that's how male tattoo artists make you feel. Women will push you towards something, but they push you towards something beautiful. And some women are terrified of you, so they give you something and you're just like, yeah, fine, whatever. And you just don't have a fight. You just want some shit covered up, you know? But anyway, I got my sun in my palm tree to represent my love for LA that I've had for many, many years, only being there a couple of times. LA was the only other place that I wanted tattooed on me. That was the only other place that I wanted tattooed on me. And so I got that, and I walked in, and my spirit noticed something as soon as I walked in. First of all, the studio was beautiful. It was aesthetically pleasing. It was my style, and it was playing music that I love. Several of my favorite songs came on while I was getting this tattoo. It was divine. It was meant to be. And I noticed something about my tattoo artist, and something deep down in me tells me that he's Israeli. And I'm like, how bad do I want this tattoo? Because this man is putting something permanent on me. He's infusing his own magic into my skin. And so I start kind of hinting at things and stuff. And, you know, he asked me where I'm from, and I say where I'm from. And I asked him where he's from, and he tells me that he's Israeli. And I said, wow, I can't imagine how, you know, stressful right now must be for you. He's like, yeah, it's stressful all around. I just kind of wanted to stop. I was like, yeah, all around the world, it's too much. And I wanted to stop on all sides and to just find healing. He was like, yeah, same. And we left it at that. Before I went out there, I had this feeling and this fear that I was starting to hate. all Jewish people because I was seeing them all the same. I was seeing them the same because I was being fed so much information by the media. But it was true. It was true what I was seeing, but I was siloed in it. And being siloed in anything is going to block your worldview and block your understanding and block your path to love. You shouldn't be siloed in your information. You shouldn't watch one news channel all day. I love when I travel. I love to listen to local news. I want to know what's going on here. I want to know what the people in those areas are learning. I did it for LA. I did it for Bay Area. I do it for Atlanta. I used to listen to world news every morning. I listen to local news every morning. Then I listen to NPR. Then I listen to the weather. I digest all of that. And so I needed to see more of a worldview, because spending too much time on Twitter will silo your thoughts and your mind. You learn a lot, but right now, it's siloed, and it's siloed for good reason. But I also had to be reminded that in addition to good Jewish people in the world, there are good Israeli people in the world who didn't ask to be born into this fucking chaos. Just like no Palestinian was born into this chaos, no Israeli was born into this chaos. And not all of them want it to continue. Some of them just want to live in the house that their grandfather lived in. Regardless of how his grandfather got it. His grandfather might have just been like, hey, there's a place for Holocaust survivors that's safe for them to go. Let's go there. He may not even have known how he got that property. And then after he learned and found out, he's like, but where else are we to go? Look at what am I to do? And so there are those Israelis too. And so I must give grace and understanding. That doesn't mean I'm going to stand blindly naked in front of some people and open myself up to harm and shit like that. That just means that I'm approaching this situation as human, right? And seeing you as human and recognizing that there is God in you, and that sometimes hate causes people to turn away from God. And then if that you are one of those people, you wouldn't even really find yourself in my presence, because I don't attract hate. I attract love. I attract jealousy, but I see that and I spot that now, and I can, whatever, get out of here. I've passed through that test. Goodbye, go. I don't feel like being bothered. But anyway, I think I got through the whole story. That's the story of how I saved a little Jewish boy and got God's blessing from some Jewish witches, and how an Israeli dude gave me a tattoo in LA. That's it.